What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's scenario got suggested a lot, and revolves around two characters from the Saiyan saga. I've done something similar before where Vegeta ends up winning, but I wrote this one out and it actually turns out a lot different. The main difference here, Nappa and Vegeta win, because they don't mess around this time. For this video, let's set a like goal of 2,500 likes, and without further ado, let's get into it. Everything in the story goes normal, up until when Nappa fights Goku. Vegeta can tell, Kakarot has some kind of weird new power that makes him really strong. After showing off his huge power level over 8,000, Vegeta knows he might want to get involved. Instead of letting Nappa die this time, he joins in, and together, the two face off against Goku. Naturally, this forces Goku to start using Kaioken, and he's able to turn the tides a bit, but it's not enough, because Vegeta and Nappa still have a trick up their sleeves. While Goku's distracted by Vegeta, Nappa creates an artificial moon, flinging it up into the sky without them noticing. During Vegeta and Goku's fight, Nappa transforms into a great ape, and Vegeta begins chuckling, commending Nappa for his smart thinking. He too turned into a great ape, and together, the two of them face Goku once more. Nappa overpowers Goku by himself, while Vegeta actually has to deal with Gohan, who has also transformed. It's not like it's too hard for them though. In unison, as Nappa crushes Goku, Vegeta kills Gohan, leaving Krillin as the only survivor. And sadly, Krillin does try to get out of there, but he doesn't make it. The two fire massive mouth blasts at him, killing him instantly. Just as they wanted, they came here and killed Kakarot. Now victorious, it's a shame that Kakarot didn't want to join them, but these are the consequences he faces. While the two are here, they decide to wipe out the rest of the planet, letting Frieza know that it's ripe for sale so he doesn't get suspicious of them. They go around easily destroying everything and everyone, until none of the humans exist on Earth anymore. This planet might sell for a pretty penny, so it's good that they did this. Frieza doesn't question their motives for being on this planet, and they get commended for their work. However, there's something that doesn't really sit right with them. They still weren't able to get the Dragon Balls. But they begin theorizing, thinking it may have something to do with the Namekian that was on Earth. So maybe, there's a slim chance that these might exist on Namek as well. But they do have to make haste. First of all, they're not badly injured so they don't need to go into a healing pod, meaning they have some extra time. Also, telling Frieza about Earth might actually give them some more time, because Frieza would probably want to spend his time surveying it, and setting it up for sale. Vegeta and Nappa take advantage of this, and decide to head to Namek right away under Frieza's nose. After some time traveling, they end up on the planet. And needless to say, they have a pretty easy time taking on the Namekians. They go around villages slaughtering them, gathering the Dragon Balls. Their only real issue is Nail, but even with that, the two of them together may be able to take him on, especially if they transform once more. Besides him though, they face no opposition. By taking hostages and threatening to kill them, they're able to get a Namekian to translate for them, allowing them to access Porunga. They've gathered the 7 balls by now, meaning they can get their wish. Actually, it turns out they're going to get wishes. There's 3 of them, even better. So they decide they may as well put good use to the wishes. Vegeta didn't really plan on doing this, but for his first wish, he decides it might not be bad if they have an extra partner. So he brings Raditz back to life. And it turns out Porunga doesn't even bring him to Namek. Huh, that's a little cheap. The good thing is they do have an extra wish, so they use that extra wish to bring Raditz to Namek. Raditz is immediately confused and doesn't know why he's here or how it happened, but Nappa tells him to shut up and watch. With Raditz now here again, and Porunga on the final wish, Vegeta tells Porunga he wants all 3 of them to be made immortal. Porunga grants the wish, as the Dragon Balls become inert and scatter across the planet. Wait, did the wish actually work? They don't feel any different. So Vegeta decides to test it. He drops his guard and lowers his power, and he tells Nappa, send a ki blast right through his chest. Nappa's weirded out by this. Is Vegeta sure about it? But he commands Nappa to do it. So he does. He shoots a hole through Vegeta's chest, watching as the prince collapses to the ground. He and Raditz look at each other nervously. Oh crap, they just killed Vegeta. But suddenly, Vegeta's chest regenerates as he stands up once more. And actually, empowered this time. Not only are they immortal, but it turns out they may be able to exploit this for power boost, an unintentional side effect of being immortal. They're all excited. But now, there's one thing they need to do. Vegeta goes on a scouter, talking to Frieza. Right now he's on a planet called Namek, and he found something that might interest the Emperor. Turns out Frieza already did know about the Dragon Balls and did plan on going to Namek, but he had to take that little detour to Earth to sell it. He's happy to hear about this though. Apparently, Dragon Balls exist on Namek, but Frieza will have to come there and actually find them himself. Frieza's a bit suspicious of this. Vegeta and Nappa are there alone right now, and Frieza does not want Vegeta and Nappa to get to the Dragon Balls first. So he makes haste and heads to Namek, hoping to beat them there so he can get the Dragon Balls. While they wait for Frieza, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz spend their time training, now being able to do much more horrific training than they could before. From this, they see exponential gains in power, as the few remaining Namekians watch the Saiyans kill each other over and over again. Eventually, Frieza and his army arrive on Namek, and they're able to find Vegeta. Frieza immediately has a bad feeling once he sees Raditz. He's kinda iffy on the info, but didn't Raditz die? This is not looking good. So angrily, he questions Vegeta. Did he find the Dragon Balls and use it to wish Raditz back to life? Vegeta chuckles, and answers yes. That's what he did with the Dragon Balls. Frieza is furious, and sicks his army on the Saiyans. As Frieza alone decides to face Vegeta, Nappa and Raditz fight the Frieza Force, easily being able to eradicate everyone. Even Zarbon and Dodoria. Frieza's confused. Why is everyone so strong? Vegeta lets Frieza in on a little secret. That wasn't the only wish they made. There's more than one wish? Angered, Frieza transformed into his second form, but Vegeta isn't scared. And purposefully, he drops his guard once more, letting Frieza think that he can kill Vegeta. Frieza launches a death beam as Vegeta falls to the ground, with Frieza launching more and more beams. He is fuming right now, but his grin disappears as Vegeta gets back up. And he reveals to Frieza, he, Raditz, and Nappa are all immortal. Frieza is disgusted to hear this, but he's not surprised that these three betrayed him, as expected from monkeys. But he does tell them though, he'll make them go through so much pain that they'll wish they were able to die. Skipping his third form, he immediately jumps to his full power, in his final form. At his full power, he's actually too much for them to take on, and over, as Frieza promised, he keeps killing them. But they keep regenerating, getting back up. Frieza can't find any way to kill them. As a last resort, he even tries to blow up the planet, but with how many power boosts they have right now, they've become fast enough and strong enough to counter this. And together, the three of them attack Frieza for one final time. He's at their mercy right now, and as vengeance for everything in their lives so far, the three Saiyans kill Frieza. But what do they do now? Well, of course, they'd still want to pursue influence somehow. And although a lot of the Frieza Force just got killed by them, they'll control whatever remains. The thing is though, I don't feel like they're gonna rule like Frieza did. Sure, these three Saiyans are maniacal, but they're not maniacal like Frieza is, not to that extent. With Vegeta at the helm, I feel like he'd be a harsh emperor, but a fair one. Slowly, they're able to build the Frieza Force, or I guess now the Vegeta Force, back up. The only resistance they face is from King Cold, who they promptly kill, kinda as a message to everyone in the universe. And their empire actually becomes very successful. They expand their influence around the galaxies and the universe as a whole. And they actually foster somewhat of a galactic empire. No one can oppose Vegeta, or else they'll end up like Frieza and King Cold, or like planet Earth. Although, not many people do have the desire to oppose him. As I mentioned, he's still decently fair. And so are his two right-hand men, Raditz and Nappa. Many planets around the universe are modernized, and eventually gain technological prowess, as Vegeta's influence grows. At some point, Babidi may show up on one of the planets, although he'd ultimately be stopped by Vegeta's army. He could send in some random minions, or even the Ginyu Force to help clean stuff up. The real issue though is Deborah. The good thing is Babidi is dead, so not only can't they gather energy, but it's not like many of the planets are strong, so it would have been hard for them to get energy in the first place. But on top of that, Deborah is the only threat left, and he ends up fighting Vegeta. Deborah is actually a really good match for him, although Vegeta eventually gains the upper hand. This just goes to show, no one can mess with Vegeta. There is one small detail here though. Boo's egg still remains, and Vegeta decides he's gonna keep it as a souvenir. It makes it as a nice decoration, as long as they keep it under security somehow. He thinks of it as a reminder of his last cool fight, and a showcase of his true power. His empire continues to be successful. As the three Saiyans grow stronger, they are curious about that myth of Super Saiyan, but they can't seem to find a way to access it, if it's even true at all. But eventually, Beerus wakes up, having dreamt of some Super Saiyan god, and he finds out about what's happened. So, Vegeta thinks he's some sort of emperor, and he's taken over Frieza's army? Beerus is going to pay him a visit, reminding Vegeta who really rules the universe. Vegeta of course can't oppose Beerus, so this really puts his attitude in check. Although, Beerus does have something that he wants Vegeta to know. He had a dream about some sort of Super Saiyan god, and wants to find out about it. All three of the Saiyans are lost, knowing nothing about it, or even Super Saiyan for that matter, but they're intrigued to hear about it. Interesting. Beerus sees an opportunity. These three may be able to be his rivals, possibly even doing some work for him, if the rumor becomes true. Vegeta decides that they'll ask Porunga. So, Whis takes everyone to Namek, those poor Namekians, because once again, they have to gather the Dragon Balls and they're forced to make a wish. But this time for Lord Beerus. They ask Porunga and he tells them about the ritual. Too bad that they killed Kakarot because they don't seem to have enough Saiyans. But Vegeta begins thinking, there must be other Saiyans in the universe. There had to be a few more that escaped, right? But then he gets an idea. He knows that Tarbal's out there, but just to check, he tells Porunga, teleport every living Saiyan to Namek right now. And Porunga obliges. Immediately, Tarble is brought to the planet, alongside 2 other Saiyans. They're all confused. Vegeta's influence hasn't reached them yet, so he has to explain what's happened so far and what's going on right now. As for those 2 other Saiyans, he finds out their names are Paragus and Broly, with Paragus actually being a former higher-up in King Vegeta's army. Although there's an issue, Paragus is still pissed at Vegeta, and this is the perfect opportunity. Angered, he tells Broly to attack Vegeta. With Vegeta not actually expecting this, Paragus is glad he finally gets to get his revenge, and he's off Vampa, and he watches as Broly attacks Vegeta. Vegeta is able to put up somewhat of a fight, but Broly eventually begins thrashing him, as he adapts during battle and ends up getting strong enough to actually try and kill Vegeta, seemingly being able to kill him. With his goal accomplished, he doesn't actually go berserk, and calms down somewhat. But then they see, Vegeta's mangled body stands up, regenerating. He's impressed, but he has no time for this, and he just tells Paragus flat out, he's immortal, there's no way that Broly is going to kill him, also telling Paragus not to blame him for anything that his father did. Paragus doesn't believe this, but Vegeta proves it as Raditz shoots him in the chest to show it, and he regenerates. The same is true for Nappa and Raditz, and Vegeta once again tells Paragus flat out, Paragus must remember Beerus, right? He was pretty high up in the Saiyan army after all, so he must know who Beerus is. And that's when he realizes. Nearby, Beerus and Whis are standing there, watching everything go down. Scared, Paragus then kneels, trying to apologize profusely, as Broly awkwardly stands there not knowing what's going on and just follows his father and kneels as well. Beerus gets a kick out of this. And so does Vegeta. He doesn't know what this guy's issue is, but at least Beerus' presence kept him in check. They're caught up to speed along with Tarble, and they end up joining the ritual. Would the ritual even be possible? Well, for the sake of this video, I'll say it is. Because to be fair, we know very little about the ritual other than the fact that they need 5 pure-hearted Saiyans. But I mean, if an unborn infant can be part of the ritual, everyone else should be able to at least do something to help. And if you don't want to suspend your disbelief for that, you could also argue that they're just pure evil. Dragon Ball does make a lot of exceptions for things after all. And thus, Vegeta becomes a Super Saiyan God, impressing Beerus. He didn't think this would actually work, but it did. And now, he actually has a rival. They have a pretty nice fight and enjoy it. And Beerus wants to see if Vegeta wants to train with him and Whis, but Vegeta declines. He has an empire to run, and although he's honored by the offer, he doesn't really want to leave that long. He's satisfied with Super Saiyan God as it is. But, he's up for an occasional fight if Beerus wants it. And although Beerus is a little disappointed that he doesn't have a student, he's still glad to have a rival. So where do we go from here? Well, Universe 7 lives on, and funny enough, it prospers. Paragus, Broly, and even Tarble end up joining Vegeta's monarchy, although Tarble takes some convincing, and they all end up as a high rank. Alongside Vegeta, the 5 Saiyans besides him help oversee the Galactic Empire, continuing in the successful rule. They don't seek to destroy like the Saiyans once did. Now, they only seek to prosper, not answering to anyone like Frieza like they did in the past. And from this, Universe 7's mortal level actually rises. Surprisingly, Vegeta did more good for the universe than the Kais did. He doesn't completely rule the entire universe with an iron fist, but he's known everywhere, and his successful Galactic Empire causes more to spring up, some small and some big. Universe 7 lives in relative peace, as many different civilizations develop, with the mortals growing smarter and stronger. One day, Beerus and Shin get together, interested in the state of the universe. Shin and Kibito are just as surprised as Beerus and Whis. The entire universe is prospering, and they're both content with how it's going. Even Zeno is pleased. It was never like this before. It seems the mortals have wisened up, and it's all going well. Beerus grins. Vegeta, of all people. He, Nappa, and Raditz had a plot for revenge, which eventually spiraled into the universe being a better place. It's kinda ironic, and with that, we can end this What If mini. So what do you guys think about this short scenario? Do you think anything would have gone differently? Let me know your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that goal from the beginning of the video. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting the bell icon to get notified about any future uploads on this channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.